puts USA New Balance to shame. That takes a lot, especially if you know the New Balance Made in USA line for their 990 series. I mean, it's nothing to joke about just because they truly deliver on not only the quality, but then also the comfort. So the value is there for consumers. And if you're wondering, hey, how do you know? Well, I have the 992 Made in USA in the Nimbus Cloud colorway because shout out to New Balance for taking care of me. So you guys can check that video out if you haven't already after watching this one. But no, this is actually from a self-professed collector since the 1980s. So not new to this, very much so true to this. And they said, you know, they had quite a few pairs of Made in USA New Balances, but they said it's nowhere near the quality or design of the UK models. And even said as an American, they exclusively switched to the UK line. And they actually said that V6 is a complete joke compared to this in every way. Well, I have the 990 V6. I am a fan of it. And you know what? I'm actually going to gift a pair to one of my closest friends for her birthday to make room for the new pair that I have in the one we're going over today. So that's right, the New Balance 991 V2 made in UK, aka made in England. So this is the Dove and Silver and Aloe colorway, aka it's a gray day. And no joke, no, it's actually like a really gray day outside right now. It's bad when it's weather related. It's certainly not when it's New Balance related. And like Joe Freshgood says, when you think of New Balance, you really do think of gray. Like I just think of the gray pair, the gray shoe. And gray days are upon us very, very soon. And gray day really came early for me again. So thank you to New Balance. So let's dive into this because clearly a 991 V2 means it's the follow-up to the 991. Now, the 991 that originally came out in 2001, and it was really important for its time based on the fact that Abzorb cushioning, that is the technology or the cushioning technology for New Balance that is well known within their actual 990 line. They had that feature like not only in the forefoot but also in the heel. So back then that was certainly a big deal, and the shoe was predominantly nubuck then. They certainly have changed some things with the 991 V2, as you guys will see up close on camera. So instead of nubuck, they certainly switched over to pigskin suede, and if you have it in hand, this is so soft. Like, it's just so soft to the touch. The same with the mesh. So you have a base layer of mesh, which they re-engineered as well because it certainly feels, again, it just feels great to the touch. Like when you hold a shoe in your hand and it feels just like supple and soft, you have to appreciate it. So they changed the shape as well, a little bit more streamlined. And when it comes to the technology, so this is not a cheap shoe by any means, and we'll get into value discussions because you're looking at a price point of $250. If you look at the New Balance Made in USA pairs, those will run you $199 or $200, very similar to the 992 Nimbus Cloud. And then also the New Balance 990 V6 made in USA as well. So you're looking at $200 typically for made in USA. When you look at the 991 V2 made in UK or made in England, then you're looking at $250. So if it's $250 or we're touching the 200s, I'm certainly hoping that they've done their due diligence and the tech they're offering, and they have. So instead of just having Abzorb cushioning within the forefoot, but then also in the heel, with the 991 V2, they also added full-length fuel cell. So think about like how we rave about full-length. So you have full-length fuel cell throughout this sneaker, and something about this versus, let's say, I think I referenced the Vomero 5, right? So a comfortable shoe, totally different line, but just stick with me here. A comfortable shoe, but you get much more structure when looking at the 990 series. At least that's what I think when I have it on foot versus maybe some other options. And I will say this because they said it just put the 990 V6 to shame. When I think about them, so if we're talking about feel, yes, the suede will feel vastly different. It just will. It will feel so different, and I'm not sure if you guys will be able to kind of see some of the differences here, but yes, it will certainly have a different feel just in hand. Just the softness of this it's night and day. Like, it really is night and day, and I mean, I appreciate that. Again, you're paying a more premium price, so certainly you would hope for a more premium product. But if you're talking about like a 990 V6, you want the structure, but you still want to have that, I guess you sink into it a little bit, then yes, I would say go with the 990 V6. A little bit different if you want the structure and comfort that you feel like, hey, I could really be in all day and I don't want to sink into my shoe. That's actually not the best for everyone. Then yes, a 991 V2 may be better for you. And one thing just about the design for this specific pair, because as you can see, we have the teal element, so the Abzorb is actually visible on the midsole itself. So they actually took this element from a 998 like archived pair, and I do have a 998 back here somewhere, but oh yeah, it's like way back here. So you see how there's teal on that? There's actually teal here as well within the midsole, and again, they have the stack cushioning. So overall, giving you more for what you're actually buying. And I know you will have some that will question, there's no way possible that somebody would want to pay $250 for a New Balance sneaker, because I have the option of a retro and I can pay like the $200. Trust me, a lot of people that are very much so into New Balance and their product lines, they couldn't see themselves paying $200 plus either for a retro. Based on just putting the shoe on foot, they would wonder, what exactly are you paying for? Possibly outside of name and yes, design. But they want that third element, right? Yes, they appreciate and they may be loyal to a brand, they may love a design, but they also want comfort. And again, I'll just go ahead and throw up a number of different reviews from the people that have bought this shoe. So keep in mind, these are paying customers for a $250 shoe. They even note sometimes it is rather pricey. That's the one part they don't love about it, but it feels like they're getting their money's worth in it. So again, on foot, extremely comfortable. I will say it does run long, but I'm still not someone that likes to go half size down. I just don't. When you're walking in a shoe all day or you have it on, your feet swell. So I welcome, again, my feet being able to comfortably be in a shoe, not feel restricted in any way. So this is true to size for me in a men's 6. Again, I personally wouldn't size down at all. I know some people do in New Balances, depending on how long they run, like for a 993. But for myself, just true to size certainly works, and it is so comfortable on foot, but you do have the structure on foot, so you feel like you're supported in the arch, and I think that is really important. Listen, as you age, comfort becomes like one of the leading factors in a shoe. You need to love the shoe, and once again, I love like the appreciation that I've had and I've come to have from New Balance as time has gone on is great, and there is just something about the gray that does it for you. So when you guys look at the fits here on screen, we're only going to have 2, but they're actually some of my faves that I've thrown on recently, just because one being a spring summer style, because I'm certainly in shorts. Yes, they are distressed denim in black from likely American Eagle, where I get like all of my denim, but we have the black distressed shorts on, and then I pulled out a crop tank that would still be in the teal family, so I just wanted to play off of that a little bit. And then this oversized blazer that you guys see here in a lighter gray, and it is certainly textured just to play off the fact that you have mesh here in the sneaker and this super soft pigskin suede. So I said, why not just go ahead? Let's play around with that. And then for the second look, I have finally like a new pair. I had to do some sizing try-ons for the Hollister super baggy cargo pants. Now, these are not the cooling pants. These are just the regular cargo pants, but I was a big fan when I saw them, tried them on. I just needed a longer length because I like, if I'm wearing a wide leg bottom, I want them to fully come down. I don't want them to stop just a little bit over the top of my shoe, if you know what I mean. So got them in a 32 and love the way they fit. Very soft. That is just something, I guess, about the continuation of like the softness of the 991 V2, the softness of those cargo pants. I love how they feel on. And then just keeping it very basic, you guys know me, that same tank, and then having on the bomber jacket. Well, actually, not the same tank. White long sleeve crop t-shirt. Just keeping that in mind. White long sleeve crop that I have, because basic. So a basic white tank, a basic long sleeve white crop shirt can do a lot for a fit and just be an easy layer to throw on underneath anything. And my timeless bomber jacket, which is very much so what a 991 V2 feels like. Now, I said in the 992 video I would speak on some of the dangers if the base model of a sneaker is a little bit higher, right? So for the 991 V2, as stated in this video, you're looking at $250. If you look at their 991 V2, but it's a little bit different, if we're looking at the Salehe Bembury collaboration, it's priced higher. Now, why on earth would the sneaker have to be priced higher? Well, that's how collaborations work, and you have things that are going to be co-branded. So it is a little bit different, which means you're going to, again, have to add additional cost onto that. So instead of a $250 sneaker, you're looking at a $275 sneaker, $274.99 to be technical, and again, made in UK. So there are still multiple sizes sitting. Now, the official colorway for this is purple heart with mold, grape, and nautical blue. It's a beautiful sneaker. It truly is. Now, if you're not someone that wears purple a ton, I would say weigh the option of the cost of that, because that would be like a costly cost per wear if I just had to say so myself. Not that I don't love purple, because I have a purple Jordan and I love it, but this being a little bit higher in price, I think may be one of the reasons why it is still sitting there, because the higher the base price, the higher the collaborative price must be. And I think that's something all brands have to always take into account. And you know, you have some that will certainly sell out, and then you have some that are not going to. And I think that can contribute to that. I mean, one, please go ahead and comment below your thoughts on the Salehe Bembury 991V2. Again, beautifully done. Of course, materials are premium because you guys are able to see how premium the 991V2 here is. And this is just in the basic gray colorway. So sometimes I will say, just as a fan of sneakers, it may behoove you more to have like a everyday colorway that can go with a number of things, especially if you are in this stage of trying to have pairs that are just much more practical, much more functional with your entire wardrobe, maybe than just a few pieces or a few looks, because it being a standout pair, it doesn't end up being something you wear as much as you think you do, at least just from my experience. A little bit different where something is super comfortable, it is also neutral, and you can dress it up and then dress it down. So something that you guys are able to see in a lot of videos, these were semi-dressed up, I guess just throwing a blazer on, but still something casual that I can enjoy. And again, two different looks, true to my style in both ways. So please go ahead and comment below your thoughts on the 991 V2. We know how popular and loved the 991 was. I mean, they brought it back in 2001. They had the 20th year anniversary, so they celebrated that, which had a really fun tag on the inside of the tongue. I'll just go ahead and throw that on screen and point that out. Really fun tag on the inside of the tongue. And then 2003, we saw the 991 V2 release, and they've certainly had some really fun collaborations. I'm sure that we'll continue to see this model thrive. I think we will. I will go ahead and throw one of my favorite Instagram follows up on here because he posts amazing photos, and I saw this sneaker all the time on his feed, and it just truly does look like the amazing everyday pair. And it's just something about this gray. Now, they come with additional laces. I'll throw that in there. They do come with gray laces, or aka dove laces, I guess. I thought about keeping them in, and then I said, you know what, there is just something about the white laces that pop a little bit more, even with the sole. Like, the midsole is not a stark white, it is two-toned here, but I decided to go with the white laces, as I do with a lot of my sneakers, and I think it really just completes the look overall. So go ahead and comment below now, having hopefully seen my 992 video as well as the 991 V2, which model is your favorite? Do you own either of these models if you are a fan of New Balance? And then if not, do you have a favorite model within the 990 series? Because I mean, that person said that it put the 990 V6 to shame, which, I mean, bold words, bold words. I love all three, so I won't necessarily say it puts it to shame, but I have a really bold appreciation for the quality on a 991 V2 made in UK. So I thank you guys so much for tuning in to this video. And again, hopefully you caught the video on the 992 Nimbus Cloud. As always, act your age, not your shoe size. Peace.